Wild monster. The craziest fighter in Russia. This is Vyacheslav Datsik. Despite his appearance, he's a ruthless fighter. And even legends like Orlovsky and Emelianenko couldn't survive a single round with him. This Russian troll effortlessly juggled professional fights with store robberies and prison sentences. Nothing could stop this madman. And in this video, you'll learn all about the scariest fighter in Russia. Let's get ready for punishment. Here we go. Vyacheslav Datsik was born in 1980, and from a young age he was wild, constantly getting into fights, racking up 16 concussions, and landing himself on the police radar for his aggressive behavior. At 18, however, he discovered the world of sports and learned that it was a place where he could maim people for free. Datsik had absolutely no technique, but his raw physical strength was off the charts, earning him the nickname Ginger Tarzan. Just 1 year later, he made his professional debut against the future UFC champion Andrei Orlovsky, known as Pitbull. Unlike a wild Russian boar, Orlovsky had practiced martial arts his entire life, making him far more experienced and technically sound.
Giving his other opponent.
The fight kicked off with both warriors exchanging thunderous blows. However, Orlovsky, built in the gym, proved much stronger than a street brawler.
It's like, here I come, go. I wonder who his crew is.
All those scrappy street fighting skills turned out to be useless, and Datsik ended up looking more like a giant punching bag.
Whoa, look at him.
Throughout the first round, Pitbull tormented his opponent and completely dominated Tarzan.
And a big kick by Orlovsky. Wow! They're slugging it out here!
But in a split second, everything changed for Orlovsky. The monster summoned every bit of strength in one colossal punch and sent Orlovsky straight to the land of Morpheus. After crushing such a powerful opponent in his debut, Datsik set off confidently to conquer the heights of MMA. But instead of enjoying his success, in his free time between fights, the crazy Russian was busy robbing stores. He was quickly arrested, declared insane by experts, and locked up in a psychiatric hospital. Not long after, he escaped and illegally made his way to Norway. There, law enforcement promptly intercepted him, declared him sane, and sent him back to Russia to serve his sentence. After spending 9 long years in prison, Datsik finally regained his freedom in 2019. And the moment Vyacheslav stepped out, he jumped right back into professional fighting, because the best thing he ever did was beat people up. Though he no longer looked nearly as imposing as in his youth, and had come to resemble a vicious troll, he still managed to pack explosive power in his fists. He confidently dismantled every opponent, though his insane temper often made itself known. Like a wild beast on the hunt, Tarzan charged into the ring with a ferocity that was simply unmatched. But eventually, the only one who could truly put an end to this mad fighter was none other than the blood brother of the legendary Fedor Emelianenko. Legendary Russian sports icon, Alexander Emelianenko, was once the undeniable favorite, having faced legends like Mirko Krokop, Fabricio Verdum, and Josh Barnett. It looked as if the wild fighter had no chance at all. But then, the bell rang, and within just 10 seconds, Tarzan sent that sports legend packing for early retirement. Since even the technically gifted fighters couldn't survive a single round with Tarzan, the organizers decided to give him an equally insane opponent. Meet Geronimo dos Santos, a hulking giant known as the Ring Chef, because he turns every opponent into a meat patty. At the press conference, the cocky Dos Santos tried to break his opponent's spirit by intimidating him, but he never expected that Datsik's level of madness was on another planet. These two wild warriors were about to settle who was the fiercest and most intimidating of them all. In the end, Datsik showed Dos Santos who ruled at the top of the food chain. Dos Santos did manage to get back on his feet for a moment, convinced he still had a chance. But Datsik swiftly buried all those hopes. Dos Santos's pride was completely erased, and he cowardly refused to continue the fight. In that bout, Datsik demonstrated to Dos Santos who the real lion of the pride was, and who was just a cowardly kitten. Vyacheslav Datsik is the most fearsome, ferocious, and powerful fighter out there. But behind that intimidating exterior lies an incredibly kind heart, one that melts for his beloved daughter and wife. To secure a bright future for his little girl, this crazy but loving father set out to conquer the entire fighting world. Next up for Vyacheslav was the great Antonio Silva from Brazil. The Brazilian fighter, nicknamed Bigfoot for the enormous size of his limbs, was a former UFC fighter who had, not long ago, dismantled legends like Fedor Emelianenko, Travis Brown, and Alistair Overeem. But all that glory evaporated the moment the bell sounded. Datsik delivered a carnival of pain and terror on the Brazilian. So completely outclassing him that he even mocked his opponent like a helpless child. Not even Bigfoot's gigantic legs could help him escape the wrath of the ginger monster. Tarzan pummeled Silva as if he'd stolen his bottle of vodka. Datsik hit so hard that he completely shattered Silva's head. Even though his body might still have been standing, Silva's soul had already left this world. And to cap off the spectacle, Datsik finished the show with a traditional beastly roar. By 2022, the Ginger Tarzan was terrifying all of Russia, but he was missing just one thing to cement his greatness: an official title. For that, he stepped into the ring for a heavyweight championship bout in one of Russia's top organizations. However, he had to face none other than the former UFC fighter and legend, Jeff Monson. Jeff, an elite fighter known as Snowman, had effortlessly destroyed every opponent in America and Russia. In 2018, backed by Putin's support, Monson even became a Russian deputy. Then, in 2022, Warrior of Putin and the Warrior of Beer met in the ring. Datsik immediately showcased his acrobatic skills, unleashing a series of fiery strikes on the Snowman. Occasionally, the Russian official tried to fight back, but the former convict turned Monson into a non-person. Soon after, Vyacheslav openly demonstrated that for him, Jeff posed less threat than a child's toy. The Ginger Tarzan proved to Monson that it was time to quit the fighting arena and focus on politics. In the end, Datsik won decisively by unanimous decision, capturing his first title. Vyacheslav Datsik is the craziest fighter in Russia, a man who, despite his bulky frame, annihilates his opponents like a wild beast. He could have become one of the greatest fighters in the world, but his madness kept him from truly realizing his potential. Hit that like button if you'd never want to face him in the ring. Thanks for watching.